You know, ladies and gentlemen, I never thought much about reincarnation, but I hear it's making a comeback. Ladies and gentlemen, in a top 10 list that is sure to stir controversy, today we're going to take a look at my top 10 board game covers of all time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a look at my top 10 board game covers. Essentially, this is purely subjective. What do I think are some of the coolest box art out there? What are my top 10 and what do I think? I'm sure many people will have many opinions about this. Here's mine. First of all, some honorable mentions. I love TI4. It's the TI4 box. I like the TI3 box. The TI4 box is even better. It's beautiful. You got the different factions represented there. It's got this great science fiction theme and overview. Really like that one. Expeditions from Stonemaier Games. You've got the snow and the meteorites. You've got the bear and the person there. You got that steampunk feel, but you've also got this kind of desolate, snowy Siberian feel there. I love that. And of course, its cousin Scythe. Scythe has just beautiful art throughout, and that cover of just kind of those peasants and what have you, early 20th century, with these giant steam mechs is just beautiful. Always loved this art. Well, that is my honorable mentions. Let's jump into my top 10 list. This is probably going to be a relatively short list in terms of the length of the video, because I'm just going to talk about these games and say what I love about these covers. Number 10. My father's work from Renegade Game Studios. My father's work is this beautiful castle. I didn't know anything about this game. I walked into a store. I saw this game. I saw this castle. It just screamed horror. It screamed, Eastern European scariness, something akin to the Castle Dracula. It was just so cool and so iconic. I didn't know a thing about this game, and I immediately rushed home to talk to Renegade to see if they had review copies available. And it was it's just a great, iconic 19th century horror game. And in a very simple way, the box cover illustrates that. I think it's beautiful. So that is number 10. That is my father's work from Renegade Game Studio. Number 9 from Starling Games is Black Orchestra. Now, this is a game of the German military resistance to Adolf Hitler. And the box art is so great. You've got these German officers running. You have got, the what appears to be maybe Hitler speaking from a podium and the German eagle behind him and all of his soldiers saluting him. You've got, airplanes. But the whole thing looks like this kind of almost 1960s art look to it. Hard angles. It tells a story in and of itself and is really evocative of what you're going to get out of that game. So that is Starling Games. That is Black Orchestra. That is my number 9. My number 8 is Unfathomable from Fantasy Flight Games. It's a great game. You're on an ocean voyage. You're trying to successfully make it from England to Boston. And on this ship, you have a traitor who is secretly trying to kill you, maybe more than one, trying to sink the ship, sabotage the ship. And the box cover art is beautiful. You've got that ship traveling along the sea, and then you see that giant, Dagon, H.P. Lovecraft monster coming out of the sea, threatening it. It's the box cover art screams tension in the game. It screams fear, and it tells this story of this evil that's trying to attack this ship. Great, beautiful artwork there. That is number 8, Unfathomable from Fantasy Flight Games. My number 7 is Undaunted Stalingrad from Osprey Games. I really like this because I love the artwork in the game. I love the artwork in this game. And I love how you've got, it's just the centerpiece here is you got that female Russian sniper and a rifle going out. And it just tells you right there it's Eastern Front game, right? Even without seeing the title. And you've got another Russian soldier there. You've got the German soldier. He's kind of a frozen Fritz there. And then, of course, you've got the cratered landscape beneath. Again, this is something that tells you, if you knew nothing about the Undaunted system, you'd see this and you'd know a couple things. You'd know it was a war game, but you'd also know it's probably a lighter war game, a more accessible war game just from the cover art. But it's great. Again, it's evocative of the period. It's evocative of the Eastern Front and the war, and I see that, and that just the artwork, the way it's drawn, just would draw me to it in a heartbeat. So that is Undaunted Stalingrad. That's from Osprey Games, and that is my number 7. My number 6 is a game that I've always been a huge fan of this game. It's like a top 5 game for me of all time. It's super fun, but I'm going to talk about an earlier edition. I'm talking here about Fury of Dracula 2nd Edition. Now, Fury of Dracula, the 3rd edition, and then subsequently the 4th edition, are far superior games to the 2nd edition, where you're running around Europe trying to find Dracula. But the 2nd edition has this box art that I freaking love, where the 3rd and 4th edition is just kind of this cartoony Dracula smiling. It's fine. The 2nd edition actually has you've got the stagecoach going on the road there. You've got Dracula. You've got the castle there. It just seems it's a little more tense. It's a little more scary. You get a sense from that cover art that you're going to play a game about Dracula, but you get that sense of there's a chase here, which is really what the game is all about, is that chase. You don't really get that from the 3rd and 4th edition covers, but the 2nd edition cover, I think, just nails that. I love that idea of that iconic chase you see on the cover. So that is my number 6, Fury of Dracula 2nd Edition. My number 5, and I could really have picked any game in this series, but I chose this one specifically. This is Axis and Allies Europe 1940. And I chose this one because all of the Axis and Allies games have this wonderful collage of all of these various figures and leaders and iconic pictures and artwork from World War II. And I like one of the reasons why I guess I'm choosing Axis and Allies Europe 1940 is it's got that big picture of George Marshall there. And George Marshall is a figure that's always fascinated me. I wrote my thesis or my doctoral dissertation partly about George Marshall. Very interesting figure, an absolutely essential figure in winning the war. And you get that sense in seeing him there of a grand strategic game. And most people, of course, probably would miss that. But for me, I think that combined, you get a sense, first of all, this is a war game. This is a fun and engaging war game. And it's probably a lighter war game. It's not this super heavy game. But again, it's strategic scale and perhaps operations also come through in that box art there. I love, like I say, I love all of the box art for all the Axis and Allies games, but I think this one might be my favorite. So that is Axis and Allies Europe 1940. That is my number 5, and that is from Renegade Game Studios. My number 4 from Fantasy Flight Games is Forbidden Stars. Unfortunately, this game is out of print, but this game is beautiful. The cover is, it's got all these wonderful science fiction. I mean, you look at this cover, you know it's going to be a science fiction game, but you got that Space Marine, and he's right there. He's got the big skull on his chest. And it just is so evocative, first of all, of Warhammer 40K. But even if you knew nothing about Warhammer 40K, you would know this is going to be a big game. This is going to be an epic game, a strategic game of kind of science fiction. I mean, all the artwork of any Warhammer 40K game I've ever played is always attractive to me. I think it always looks good. It's a universe I think is very cool. I've read a few of the books, a handful of the books, and I've played several of the games. But it's just a universe that I think is very cool to me. And this box art is evocative of the wider 40K universe, but it also tells you a lot about the game you're going to play. An epic space battle game. And I love the game. I haven't played it in a while yet. I got to play it again. I love the game, but I love I love what it invokes, what this cover invokes, and the feelings. You're like, oh, you know that's going to be a good game. So that is number 4. That is Forbidden Stars from Fantasy Flight Games. My number 3 is another IP game that does just a fantastic job of sucking you into the game. And this is Marvel Zombies from Come On. Marvel Zombies, a zombicide game. This cover is so cool. You see those heroes in zombie form and other heroes not, and you see them battling. And it's, again, incredibly evocative of the source material. But you see this game, and how could you say, wait a second, that's a game, that's not just a comic book, that's a game I can play. you want to play it. It looks good. You realize you've got superhero zombies. The art is just astounding, and it sucks you in. In the center there, you've got Spider-Man battling zombie Iron Man, just this epic duel. And then kind of just, in the foreground, you have got zombie Captain America, and he's decaying and rotting, and it looks beautiful. I love the game, and it's such a great box art cover, so evocative of what you're going to play. I'd be giddy and excited if I knew nothing about it and I saw that cover. So that is number 3, Marvel Zombies, and that is from, come on. My number 2 is kind of a smaller game. It's a World War II Eastern Front game, but it's a pretty quick and approachable game with some depth there. But this is from Phalanx Games, Iron Blood, Snow and Mud. And this, what can you say? It's a giant tiger tank. It's on fire. It's coming at you. I mean, this is such a beautiful piece of kind of military history art. And, if you're like me, if you are a student in the Second World War, you see something like that and you kind of geek out a little bit. And again, in that picture, you're going to be playing a game that is dealing with World War II on an operational scale that is, again, just sucks you in to the conflict, that takes you back to the horrors of the Eastern Front. That Tiger tank, it's just so evocative of the Nazi regime. Not only what that tank is and how it can interact with other enemies and friends on the battlefield. It's got a power to it, but you also know you're aware of the iron behind the iron, so to speak. This represents just this evil system, and it's so evocative again of the war. You're going to play a fun Eastern Front game here. You just get that sense from the box. Anyway, I love it. I think it's a beautiful piece of art, and it's one of my favorite covers I've ever seen. So this is number 2, Iron Blood, Snow and Mud from Phalanx Games. Okay, my number 1 is a game that is fairly new. I just played it recently for the first time, played it a few times. And if you've, I probably put my review up. It's one of my favorite games, like, of all time now. I absolutely fell in love with it. But this is Dune: War for Arrakis from Come On. Now this cover is so cool because, first of all, it's a mirror image. Its top and bottom are mirror image. The word Dune is in such a way that the letters can change from top to bottom. But you've got the center point of the one part is Paul Atreides. You see him there. He's ready to fight. He's ready to lead his jihad there. And then the other side, you have the Baron Harkonnen. You see the Highliners and the spaceships behind him. It's kind of dark and brooding, where you see the Atreides, and it's lighter and brooding. I don't know, but it's so cool. I love that it's you can take each side. This is the one game I think I've ever played where it doesn't matter which side you put the box on, the back side is always right side up. So the game itself just blows me away. It is a beautiful, fun, amazing game. And you look at this cover, and again, I'm going to play a game set in the Dune universe, and I know it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. This art is epic. It's gonna be an experience like no other. Freaking love Dune: War for Arrakis as a game, and wow, just this box art alone gets me so excited. It is so cool. It is so good. But that is my number 1, Dune: War for Arrakis. That is from Come On. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me know. What do you think? What are your favorite box art covers? What do you think of mine? Let me know. As you can tell, one of my big criteria is, what does the box art tell you about the game itself? I think that is so cool and so important. But let me know. What are your thoughts? I'm really eager to know here. Well, please leave a comment here on YouTube, Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, on thediscriminatinggamer.com. I'd love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe to this video. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff. I'd ask you to check out my other channel, Cody Carlson, PhD. We talk about military history, books on history. Go ahead and subscribe to that channel. It would mean a lot to me. And I would also ask you humbly to go ahead and click on the super thanks button and leave a tip. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what my favorite rock band is? Mount Rushmore.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where